Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Make sure you get your green gear 25% off. Offer code all in for 2020, all caps, now until November 4th. All your green gear, including new designs, 25% off. Offer code all in for 2020, all caps. Speaking of new designs, I mentioned that I have some sweet and sour sniffles gear. It looks so damn good. I'm so glad and happy with the help that I got designing it. It's like a little takeout container. It says sweet and sour sniffles on it. It looks so tight. It's on a black and white t-shirts. Also, we have it available for wallpapers for your phone, screensavers, whatever. I didn't see it on the listing. Somebody let me know in the comments that it wasn't on the store listing. So I've been sending emails. I'm working on it. It will be fixed soon. So, a few things I want to talk about. Number one, I saw this interview with this guy named Jason Whitlock. He does sports journalism, black guy, definitely leans conservative. I've never heard him declare which party he may support, but he definitely has conservative ideals. He supports the nuclear family. He's against BLM. He calls all those clown ass athletes and celebrities to the carpet. He is not a fan of LeBron James, LeBronica. But yeah, name's Jason Whitlock, and he did an interview with the president. And one of the things he brought up was big tech and what Trump plans to do about breaking up these monopolies, because that's one of the few things that the government is actually supposed to do on their list of chores that they're supposed to do, that we entrust them to do, and all these other stupid ass things that they get involved with that they have no business. So one of the few things they're supposed to do is break up company monopolies, i.e. big tech. I was talking to a coworker of mine yesterday, and we were talking about how everything tech-wise is here in California, because obviously we're in California. So we were just tripping on how everything big tech is right here. Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, even though they're not tech companies, but Lyft, Uber, like all that kind of stuff, all that new cutting edge stuff is right here in California. And all of those companies are pretty much run by one. What is it? Facebook owns Instagram, and YouTube owns this, and Google owns YouTube. Like, it's all basically Google. So the government is supposed to break these up so it breeds competition, so it gives us the best option, so it gives us the best period. Because when you have just one company supplying things, then they control everything. Like what we see and what we can search, and suppressing certain stories like this Hunter Biden shit that's going on. And Facebook is suppressing people and taking down people's posts, even though they're from official sources. And no matter what you're saying, you should have the right to say it, period. If it's crazy or unpopular, then the public will deem it so. It will be unpopular. Nobody will look at it. It will go away. But instead, they step in and they censor things that don't fall in line with their agenda. And that's obviously going to hurt Joe Biden. So they silence that shit. They certainly can't support Trump. They certainly can't give him an even playing field, because they know Biden is not equipped. He can't handle that shit. But that's one of the things I want to see the president tackle more in his second term, is breaking up these fucking big tech monopolies. And now he's working on making it so you can sue them for slander, for demonetizing your shit, for taking down your stuff, for demonizing you. You can sue them, because now you can't. There's some contract or some agreement they have with the government to where you can't sue them. So you feel like a tiny little fish that they don't have to worry about. You're of no consequence. You can't do anything. Because ultimately you hit them in the pocket. That's where they're going to feel it. But if you can't do that, you're nothing. You're fleas on a dog's nuts. They're not concerned with you or how they treat you. So that was one of the good things. And it was a good interview. Check it out. You can catch it on YouTube. He has a show, was it Outkick? That's the new network that he's with. But yeah, Jason Whitlock, he did a great interview with the president. And I really liked how he talked about big tech. That needs to be talked about and taken care of more, because that's something the Republicans can help with. That's where you guys are dropping the ball. It's not all the Democrats. You're there too. This isn't a one-sided operation, and that's definitely one of the biggest balls that the Republicans have fucking dropped, is holding these big tech companies accountable. You can do that. You're the government. I know they got a finger in your fucking ass with their donations and their lobbyists, but you need to end that relationship and get back to this one, to me and you, your employer. Stop being fucking corrupt. Stop bowing to these lobbyists and do what the fuck we want. Get these tech companies under control. Also, another big thing, speaking of tech, one of the biggest searches was change my vote. People are wanting to know how they can change their vote. More specifically, the people who already cast their vote for Biden, for Bidenis Pervertis, after they saw that fucking beating that he took at the last presidential debate. That was like Mike Tyson in the 80s, insert poor bastard that has to step into the ring with them here. That's what that was. That was ludicrous. He beat the absolute shit out of that poor old man. It was sad. I hope somebody got a fucking bag of frozen peas for him to put on his face to stop the swelling. So people are looking to see how and if they can change their vote. Whoops. You should have waited until after the last debate, huh? Trump made him look bad. But actually, he didn't make him look bad. He made him look Democratic. He made him look like a Democrat. He held up a fucking mirror for the rest of us to see. So I don't know if there's a way that you could change your vote. Is it possible? I'm not sure. I hope so. I know they hope so. I certainly know they can, the hope that they can track that ballot down and have it destroyed and fill out a new one. Man, look, that debate definitely, I wouldn't say it instilled hope in me, but it definitely fanned the flames of the hope that was already there. Saying that this man is focused and that he evolved. He changed his ways from the last debate. He heard us. He heard the feedback. He saw the tape. So he's willing to change to better his message, because that is what really screwed them the last time. They didn't have a message. They thought they had it in the bag. This time, they have a message. It's all fucked up, and it's coming out of the mouth of a senile old man who should be sitting on some grass somewhere, staring off into the distance, thinking of Werther's Original. And another thing I want to talk about, at his town hall, I know it's been a week, and in this 24-hour news cycle, if it's more than a week ago, we forgot the shit even happened. But at his town hall last week, he talked about a situation with his dad. And he talked about him and his dad walking down the street. He said, we were walking down the street. I don't know. I imagine it was a question about the LGBT alphabet soup group, right? We're walking down the street. Me and my dad, I was a kid. And he said they saw two gentlemen well-dressed in suits. And they kissed each other. They were standing on the sidewalk and they kissed each other. And he turns and he looks at his dad like, huh? You know that look that puppies do? Oh, like that? He said he looked at his dad, and his dad goes, it's simple, Joey. They're in love. And that was it. He's all, it's that simple. They were in love. Look. Take out how you may feel about gay marriage and homosexuality in general. Ugh. Forget that. That's not what we're about. It's not what we're here for. Let's just take into account what that man just said. Not only did it come off awkward and fake as fuck, that was hard to watch. We know it was a lie. It was blatant. But let's dissect what he's talking about. He said, and he was born where? Delaware? Well, doesn't really matter. America. Anywhere in the world. So Joe Biden was born in 1942. And he said he was a kid. So I'm going to say between what? Say 6 and 10? Let's say 8. 1950. This took place in 1950. His dad, Biden Sr., was born in 1915. 1915. Right after the turn of the century, right before we jumped into World War I. Right around there. There are still soldiers fighting on horseback. The automobile hasn't even taken over yet. That's when this man was born, Joe Biden Sr. So you're telling me now, and in 2008, him and Barack Obama were against gay marriage. He came out and said, we do not support gay marriage. We do not support the redefining of the word marriage. We'll leave that up to the religious people to handle that. We don't support gay marriage. That's what he said, 2008. He's since changed his tune. Of course, he supports whatever for whoever. He's just a fucking clown with a blank checkbook. So, let's say 1950 this happened. You're telling me in 1950s America that Biden was on the sidewalk with his daddy. They saw two dudes kiss each other, and his dad, born in 1915, said, "It's simple, Joey. They're in love. Come on, son. Hop on my shoulders. Let's play a game of catch and get some ice cream cones." You little rascal. You're telling me that's what happened? Fuck no, that's not what happened. That was not generally accepted the way it is now. That wasn't the business back then. There weren't all these open-minded people walking around looking at two guys kiss in public, in broad daylight, and say they're just in love. Whether or not that was right or wrong is not the point. The point is that's a bunch of bullshit. Because in 1950, two dudes were not kissing each other on the sidewalk anywhere. And the further you got east, the less that shit was likely to happen. I imagine, I wasn't here in 1950, I imagine that kind of behavior was probably a little more on the down low, wasn't it? It wasn't fucking YMCA all over the place. Assless chaps and whatnot. People looking out their window like, they're in love. See, they try to feed you this shit. They try to fool you with this shit by saying, it's love. You don't have a problem with love, do you? Hey, anybody out there, if you're fortunate enough to still have somebody in your family who was born in 1915, if they still can, why don't you ask them how society viewed homosexuality in 1950? Just to get it from Biden Sr.'s perspective. But anybody who was old enough in 1950 to have an understanding of such things, how was that viewed? Yeah, probably wasn't, no problem. Now, of course, we've evolved as a society. We accept things and understand things that we didn't back then. But I'm here to tell you, there's no fucking way that a dude was with his son on the sidewalk and saw two guys kiss and just said, they're in love. The fucking lies, man. Come on. Come on, man. The fucking lies are so blatant, they don't even try to hide it. And yet so many people are going to pull that lever for Joe Biden, even though he's lying to your face. Thinking that when you lie to somebody, You're insulting their intelligence because you think they believe what you're saying. And being a bad liar is even worse. That was like watching one of your kids try to lie to you. It's hard to watch. It's awkward because you're so bad at it. Everybody old enough to know that was a lie should have been picking their jaw up off the floor when he said that shit. 1950-ish? Let's push that 10 years into the future. 1960? Why don't we push it 10 more years? 1970? Man, get out of here. Who believed that? If you believe that his story is true, you need to punch yourself in the crotch until I tell you to stop. Man, so let's put a stupid cherry on top of this sundae, shall we? I don't remember this stupid woman's name. It's too complicated to remember. She's a moron. And there are a whole lot of other morons out there, including that kid, David Hogg. That fake victim of a school shooting. Like, well, he wasn't even on that side of the school or some shit. Anyway, I saw this on Patricia Dixon's YouTube page. Shout out to her. Check it out. So, I saw the quote that these two dummies said. So, she was watching the presidential debate, and it was the part where Trump was talking about coyotes that bring illegals across the border into America. If you've heard this bullshit, you know where I'm going with it. So this idiot gets on Twitter all high and mighty, looking down her nose at the president like, look at this sophomoric fool. All high and mighty and shit, talking about, you think that coyotes bring grown people, bring humans across the border? Oh, stop talking, Trump. You're stupid or some shit like that. She told him, stop talking. Look, you fucking idiot. A coyote is a person that brings illegals across the border into America. Exactly why they're called coyotes, what that correlation is between them and an actual four-legged beast, I'm not too sure about. But here's what I'm 100% sure about. That's what they are called, coyotes. You think the president, no matter who he is so dumb that he got up there and said that coyotes, the relative of man's best friend, brings humans across the border and they need to be stopped. Is that what you think? You are dumber than a wet brick on Sunday. What in the fuck is wrong with you? Somebody take her phone away and cancel her Twitter account, because you can't have the ability to speak to other human beings on that kind of platform when you're that stupid. You really thought that Trump really thought that coyotes bring humans across the border? What are they carrying by the scruff of their neck like one of their puppies? Like a mama cat? They just grab him by the scruff and carry him and drop him off in America, then trot back and get some more? What the fuck is wrong with you? Maybe we hold on to their bellies like a baby koala or some shit? Like a possum? How did you think the coyotes got humans across the border? Is it some kind of Call of the Wild shit where we strap them to a sled? Yeah! And they bring the Americans across the border? What? Or bring the illegals into America? What the fuck? When I heard that, I was like, no fucking way. But what made it so bad, aside from the stupidity, is how indignant she was. Like, oh, I can't believe that this man, you see how stupid Trump is? Orange man not only bad, Orange man stupid too. And then all these idiots that retweeted it. All these other idiots who said the same thing. Trump is so dumb. He just said that coyotes bring humans across the border. No. The humans that do it are called coyotes, you dumbasses. And if you knew anything about illegal immigration aside from what CNN tells you to fucking know, you would know exactly what that means. That's illegal immigration 101. Who brings them here? Coyotes. Who's raping almost 80% of the women when they come across here? You know, that's what generated the Mexico sending rapists comment. The coyotes, and not the ones that come out at night and snatch your dogs out of your front yard and rummage through your trash, you dumb shit. She said, stop talking to Trump. Please take your own advice. And right after they take her phone and cancel her Twitter account, you take her ballot away from her. Because that is a dangerous weapon. Just like you wouldn't have a loaded gun around a child, you can't have a blank ballot around these fucking idiots. Coyotes bring humans across the border. I don't know what else to say, so I will say no more. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit liberal cries. Get your Jericho Green notification tone, link in the description box. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.